Man is an idea and a product of the fellowship of deity. What we call man is an offspring of deity. In the beginning, in eternity past, before God began the project of creation, when God dwelt in himself, when eternity had not even been created, that community of the divine, in their intense fellowship and koinonia, you know, when nothing was created and nothing was, only God was, there was a communion, a fellowship, an intense interaction that existed between that community of three beings. And the Father interacted with the Logos, and the Logos interacted with the Spirit, and the Spirit interacted with the Father. And this communion continued for aeons that could not be fabricated into time. Intense koinonia went on between this tripartite communion of the divine, dwelling in nothing but in themselves. And an idea was bettered, a song was sung between this fellowship of the divine. And what was produced from there was an ideology of a being called man. That means you have no reality apart from that atmosphere of koinonia where you were born from. That is your habitat. You cannot exist apart from that intense energy and vibration that flowed between the Father, the Logos, and the Spirit. The idea of man was to create a being that could walk in the depths and the belly, the womb of the fellowship between deity, so that offspring of deity could live and carry the presence, the life, and the essence of deity from place to place. He was sought out of the invincible world and planted in the visible world. And the idea is that he becomes the gateway, the portal, the access point, not just into the spirit realm, but into the heart of the Father. So every time man shows up, what you see is not even the spirit realm. What you see is what makes God God, because man becomes the proponent, the propensity, and the effulgence of the divine. You are not a creator that have reference in yourself. The reference of man is the totality of the Godhead. What makes the divine was encapsulated in a body, and that body is expected to carry the divine everywhere. So when a man speaks, what he coughs out of him is God. When a man touches, what he touches you with is God. If a man takes off his clothes, the residue on that cloth is not heat, is God. So you say handkerchiefs and aprons were taken from the body of Paul. He didn't pray upon them. What left the handkerchief was not sweat, it was a residue of the God life. And he said that handkerchief was casting out devils, because in the cradles of eternity, in the archives of God, in the chronicles of kings, what was written concerning man is that he will be a carrier of deity. God never intended to appear from heaven in a dark cloud. God intended to be seen through a vessel called man. And it was this divine intelligence, wisdom, and desire that caused the immortal personality that dwells in the midst of the coals of fire. The Bible said he is seated in light that is unapproachable. So even the angels of heaven, they don't know him. Every time he appears before them in the Shekinahs of reality, they fall on their faces and they say, holy, holy, holy. What it means is that the unapproachable one, separate unto himself. They have never been able to come close, because this being cannot be approached, he cannot be known, he cannot be interacted with. So in the cradles of eternity, when the angelic beings were created, all they knew was that this creature is separate. So the only name they called him is separate, separate, separate. We don't know who you are. We don't know from whence you come from. When God comes out of the east gate, all Lucifer did was, Yahweh cometh, and the whole heaven melts. Yahweh cometh. That's why he was created with pipes and tabrets, to alarm the arrival of Yahweh. Because any being that goes near him will dematerialize. He said, no one can see me and live. Yahweh cometh, and even the 24 elders, they prostrate flat. The only way God could be touched and interacted with, the only way God had to sit down for millions of years. How can creation interact with me? How can the angels know me? How can the stones feel the life of the divine? How can the trees know me? How can the mosquitoes, how can the lions know me? I want to create a realm, but I cannot be approached. I am a consuming fire. So the only thing that divinity bettered through their wisdom was to create a vessel called man, so that God can tabernacle in man. The Bible said in Ephesians 3:10 that even the principalities and powers, they will be taught the ways of God by looking upon man. In Eden, everything was a symphony of the divine. So when the mosquitoes came to man, they didn't come to bite him, they came to sing songs of glory. The man could pick the frequency of God, because the mosquito was meant to worship. So when he approaches the man, the flappings of his wings, you know, the Bible said the wings of the cherubim, as they flapped their wings, it was like the voice of many waters. So when the mosquitoes show up, they are bringing worship, and Adam can sense that vibration of God from the mosquitoes. When the lions see him, they see the effulgence of the divine. When David was carried to the spirit and he saw what God planned in the slate of eternity, he now said, what is man that thou art mindful of him, and the son of man that thou did visit him? He said, you made him a little lower than only the Elohim, and you crown him with glory. The word glory is the word kabod. It means the full weight and expression of God. That's the crown of man. In the angelic ranking, in all of creation, only man could reveal the dimensions of God. And Lucifer had perceived this thing, so he wanted to enter into it. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, above the clouds of the heavens, and I will be like the Most High. But it was not given to him, because when the divine was communing, no angel was given that status. And on account of Lucifer's attempt to be like deity, he was dethroned from heaven. So when Lucifer saw the man, so you are the one that God had this plan for, he came and made sure that man violated the protocol, because the man after God cannot be destroyed. The only way you can attack that man is for him to self-destruct. And Lucifer understands that the technology of self-destruction is the technology of rebellion. So he brought it in a subtle way by seduction. The word is called nakash. It means the whispers of an enchanter, the humings of divination. He whispered to the man, and the man went the way of rebellion and fell. And the prophet said, how art thou fallen? I have said, Ye are gods, because you are the children of the Most High, but you will fall like one of the princes, because you know not. Why did you yield to the deception of the serpent? Do you know who you are?